2 years ago, my partner Finn and I hitchhiked and farmed our way across New Zealand over the course of 3 months. As we traveled from farm host to host and spent weeks camping in remote places, the food we ate and the circumstances surrounding it became the cornerstone of our experience. As agriculture students, we were eager to work on New Zealand's iconic sheep and beef stations. However, many of these livestock farms were not willing to host vegetarians like ourselves, so we figured we could fake it, go heavy on the vegetables, light on the meat, be willing to try new things. We were remarkably successful in this feat until we arrived at a biodynamic dairy where veal stew was the sole item on the menu, just about every night. Finn, a vegetarian since birth, couldn't stomach it, and I had trouble as well. It didn't take long for our farm host to pick up on what was going on, and she kindly bought us a 2-kilo block of cheese, which sustained us for the rest of our stay. On the next farm, a sheep and beef station, managed by a single woman and her cattle dog, we had our first hamburgers and our first beers while we watched a speed sheep shearing competition inside the local bar. We were both surprised how similar the hamburger tasted to veggie burgers. Our host, Fiona, was thrilled to cook the vegetarians from America their first steak and present us with a taste of the wild boar her son had shot. It was on her farm that we first had kasandi, a tomato spice chutney that neither of us had heard of before. We smothered our sandwiches with it and added a healthy layer to pizza sauces. Never expecting to encounter the delicious relish again, we made sure to take a copy of Fiona's recipe with us when we moved on to the next farm. On our final farm, Windsong Orchard, we were in food heaven. A vegetarian-friendly blueberry and plum orchard with all-you-can-eat fruit, incredibly delicious lunches, magically complete with homemade kasandi, and a fully stocked kitchen for us to make our own breakfasts and dinners each day. We were at the orchard for Christmas, and while Finn and I were both sad about spending our first holiday away from home, my feelings eased when I saw our host pull out my family's favorite Ottolenghi cookbook, Jerusalem, in preparation for our Christmas feast. When we left Windsong Orchard, we had added many more recipes to bring home with us, and I had left my favorite rugula recipe with them. We spent our final 4 weeks in New Zealand exploring the country's remarkable scenery. Before heading out on the trail, we would go to Pack and Save, New Zealand's warehouse-sized discount grocery store. We hunted for lightweight, high-calorie foods, seeing how little we could spend on a day's worth of food. After a couple weeks of our signature cheesy pasta and fruity oats, I began to crave food from home and food from Windsong Orchard. I would spend hours as we hiked, dreaming of my mom's orange poppy seed cake, almost being able to taste it from memory. Eventually, our 3 months of adventures came to an end. On a 19-hour layover in an airport in China, we compiled a grocery list for my mom. Once we arrived home and slept for nearly a day, we spent days in the kitchen, recreating the meals we ate on our travels and cooking all the meals we had missed from home. To this day, the smell of cumin will take me back to Fiona's kitchen and Windsong's group lunches as we devoured kasandi sandwiches. Our time in New Zealand was shaped by a mutual willingness to be open to new experiences and to let adventure find us. I'm confident that these tastes from New Zealand will always transport me back to a time when I was young and free to explore the world with few responsibilities.